literacy is about learning.
It's reading, writing, listening, speaking.
Literacy really is about how students access the world.
It affects their critical thinking skills, their inferencing skills, their ability to do their work in all of their classes.
When I engage them through literature, the kids respond better.
And it's so gratifying to see students, when they do connect with that book.
It's just a matter of finding the right topic for each child to get them to really fall in love with the act of reading.
You can't really achieve a lot of goals without having a solid foundation in literacy, and we're not giving that to everyone yet.
Our students lose at least 4 months of instruction during the summer because they don't have access to books.
To any library, you go to any store, you find lots of books in English, but it's very hard to get books in Spanish.
We felt that as a district, we just didn't really have a cohesive plan in place for providing high quality, relevant, exciting literacy instruction for our kids.
Our superintendent and our board of trustees made a commitment to really focusing on literacy. What we did is put together a broad group of educators and community members and other stakeholders to meet over the course of the year.
Kind of come together and figure out what are we going to do to really hone the focus on literacy in our district.
The forming of the action plan started with a lot of careful examination of district data, national data, research.
At some point, we began to realize that in order to really evaluate those strategies and the things that we were doing in the plan, that we were going to be dependent once again on testing. We just realized at this very defined moment that that's not what we meant to get to. That's not what we're wanting for our district. What we really want is a culture of literacy, where we have particular strategies within the district. We have a belief system in the district, and those things would then lead to a student's love for learning and a student's love for reading and a love for writing.
And we thought that hearing from people at all different levels and in all different positions, and in some cases even people in the community outside of our immediate district, was the best way to get a comprehensive vision that we could all really get behind and believe in.
One of the best things about it, I think, was that our teacher voices were really valued as part of the group. So it wasn't a top-down kind of experience at all.
Literacy is such a, huge topic and huge opportunity for our students that we all dug in and said, we have to get it done, and it's going to only help our school district and our students out in the end.
We as a district, AISD, commits to an inclusive culture of literacy in which all of our students are engaging in authentic literacy experiences in personally meaningful ways.
The intent of the plan is to be able to affect students at all levels. So every student in every classroom on every campus will be affected by this plan.
It is not an intervention plan. It's not just meant for students who are struggling. But we believe that if you strengthen the core, that you will provide the best instruction for all students.
As a teacher, you have to think outside the box to make sure that you're engaging all types of learners. So with this literacy initiative, I felt like we did a really good job on looking at how to integrate literacy at different levels.
As a parent, I feel like there's a huge emphasis on the testing, and I would rather see my sons be engaged in what they are actually learning, not just learning about the test or how to pass the test.
So this is a way to move away from that, to really think how we can impact the kids in a better way for their future.
So it's the culture shift, it's the vision, it defines what we believe about literacy and literacy development.
To support the vision that we crafted, we came up with 4 unifying guiding principles. Cross-district coordination is kind of getting us all on the same page about how do we address literacy? How are we teaching it? What's best practice?
And some of the strategies focus on building a common language. That was something we talked about a lot in the literacy work group. We wanted, no matter what school we were at or what grade level we were representing, to be talking about literacy in the same way. Strengthening craft is the part that probably will affect teachers the most, and it is the part of the plan that's going to talk about professional development for teachers, sharing best practices within the district. We realize as a work group that there are a lot of really great things happening in AISD that we don't always get to know from one school to the other. So we wanted to have a website to showcase great practice, to have Literacy Summit like we did this year, to bring in speakers to help teachers focus on what a real literate life means for our students.
The engagement with literacy was a big one because that's where we looked at all of the ways that we can get students excited about reading, looking for opportunities to read, trying to find ways to engage in literacy in communities. So things where we're bringing in parents, getting books, not just in school libraries, but out to the other places where students spend a lot of time, their classrooms, their buses, their homes, because those are lost opportunities where people become readers.
Just providing kids experiences that mean something to them so that literacy is not just something abstract, getting them involved.
Access to books and information is another guiding principle that I think is one of the most important.
They need something to connect to, and I think books are one of the best ways to connect and reach them because there are authors that have experiences similar to their own that have things to say to them that I would never think of.
And so they're going to grow as readers exponentially when they can read about somebody who looks like them or somebody who's going through a situation like them or about an interest that they have.
First Book, it's a nonprofit organization that gives books to children in Title I schools. We brought 40,000 books, free books, to all the teachers and classified staff in AISD. For them to actually get brand new culturally relevant books, it speaks volumes of the fact that, the district cares about me, they want to engage me, they want to give me resources so I can become a better learner.
These strategies are research-based, evidence-based practices that again reflect the culture of literacy that we have defined for AISD.
This isn't meant to be a micromanagement tool. This is meant to be something, just a tool in general, something that campuses and principals and teachers and parents can look at and say, I want to be a part of this. I want this to happen for our students. I want this activity to occur. We need more of that.
And so the teachers who are being asked to work as part of the literacy plan, I think should understand that their voice also matters on their campus.
Principals now can study it, look at it, dissect it with their leadership team perhaps, or maybe with their teacher leaders, and they can decide on what the plan is for their campus.
The principal will be the person that gets feedback from teachers and make sure that we get that feedback in order to better the plan.
Not only will they showcase their campus's work, they may be showcasing their individual students' work, and therefore there's two things that they're doing at once. They're providing information about their campus and what they're doing in terms of literacy, but they're also recognizing the hard work that their students do.
Literally everyone across the board in AISD has some role to play in creating literate students, and there's a way for everyone in our district to find some way to engage with this plan and to think about their role in literacy instruction in a new way.
We know that this plan is a little different. It's a transformational plan. We will be able to measure our success even without looking at STAR scores. We know that getting books in the hands of kids, we know that building classroom libraries are important. If we can do those things that are measurable, then we know that we can be successful. We have other data points. This plan recognizes that there are multiple ways to look at data, multiple pieces of data that can inform the plan, help us to be successful, and help us to continue to adjust the plan.
We're after impact for all students in AISD, and not just around literacy, because literacy, as we know, is the vehicle for students being able to achieve their academic goals in all of the different content areas.
This is great because this is basically the district's way of saying, we want to support you, what do you need? And I think that's refreshing as a teacher.
This is a problem that all of us have to address, and so it's not something that's going to come in and come out. Teaching kids to be thinkers, to be literate, to research, to ask questions, it's really the job of education, and we have to make sure that that happens.
It's a really great opportunity for our students and for the district, and I'm hoping that it helps to build a community around books.
I think for a lot of these students, this could be the difference between them being excited to be at school and continuing to be disinterested, because really I think a love of reading is the hook that grabs a lot of the students.
They have all the ability to learn, but the opportunities have not been provided for them. And so I hope that this plan opens the doors for them to participate more openly in their own education.